Yes, we are the best team in the world. I'm going to say it. It's not true, but I'm going to say it anyway. Chelsea, toi. Paris Saint-Germain, nil point. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And everything is Chelsea FC right now. We are the winners of the Club World Cup. We just beat the best team in the entire world. And not only did we beat them, we absolutely battered them. What a game. Oh my God, there is so much to talk about. There is so much to get into. Oh, mate, my heart. I can't. What an absolutely unbelievable game. It had everything. It had goals, it had drama, it had petulance, it had name calling, it literally had hair pulling. This was a match for the ages and is such an unbelievable indication of how far this team has come and what we can achieve. And I'm gonna try and calm down a little bit and let's talk about it. Yes, say what you want about the Club World Cup. Everyone was taking this game seriously, man. Super seriously. And we'll get into the scenes at the end of the video, but we'll try and wind back and calm down a little bit because it got pretty emotional and passionate towards the end of it, but we've got to start where it began, and that is with the lineups. So I was only one player off again in my prediction for the match. Liam Delap didn't start. Joao Pedro started up top, and we did actually go for the Reece James, Malo Gusto kind of combo, but it actually worked. It actually really worked. There were some definite tactical differences that were made that wasn't just Gusto running around everywhere and whatever. It was a lot more controlled, and we absolutely nullified their game plan. Oh, mate, my breath, man. I'm so hoarse. I've been screaming for the last hour. Do you know what I mean? This is just an unbelievable game. It was so good. So essentially, it was pretty much all about the first half. The second half is definitely worth talking about. Do you know what I mean? In terms of how we were able to control the game and not let it get away from us despite being on top, but all of the magic happened in the first half. For the first 10 minutes, they could barely get the ball off us. It was unbelievable. Seriously, one of the most worrying things about PSG is their midfield and how good they are. They are good at possession, they are good at quick turnovers, they are good at pressing, they're good at everything. And we absolutely managed for a lot of the game, but largely, at least for the first 10 minutes, we took their midfield completely out of the game. And we were getting chance after chance after chance. From the off, it was so good. I did a match preview with my friend Quentin from Red and Blue, the PSG channel in English, and I said in that there's no cheat code to win this game, and you know, because PSG are just kind of good at everything, and we were up for such a difficult game here, and I still don't really understand what that cheat code was, but whatever it was, Enzo Maresca found it. And before we talk about player performance, before we talk about anything else, the credit has to go to Enzo Maresca. He set the team up perfectly. He knew what to expect, and he knew how to nullify all of their absolute most dangerous threats. Ousmane Dembele has scored 35 goals this season. Their midfield is absolutely unstoppable. Hakimi is one of the best right backs in the world, and none of these guys were able to get into the game at all. So like I said, man, from the off, it was just high tempo. It was just high tempo. We were just desperate to make things happen, and I'm sure that was a big part of the game plan, right? Because looking back at all of PSG's games, what hasn't really happened to them at any point is they've been a goal down from a reasonably early spot and had to fight back. They are just pumping goals past everyone all of the time. They scored 4 against Atletico Madrid. They scored 4 against Real Madrid. Their most difficult game so far was Bayern Munich, which they won 2-1. But they've scored 4 goals like 4 times in this competition. They scored 17 goals in all of the games leading up to this and only conceded 1. But we broke that spell. We absolutely broke that spell. And we've got to talk about why it happened, haven't we? And it was Cole Palmer, superior player of the match. Oh God, I do not like superior player of the match, but in this case, it is absolutely true. Cole Palmer was on fire today. Oh man, he was so good. So he started out on the right wing, right? Because we did the 3 midfield thing of Reece James, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. I was a little bit concerned about that at the start, but it actually made sense. And I think that was largely to do with how Gusto played today. Gusto wasn't constantly inverting into midfield and finding himself everywhere. He played more like a normal right back today, but ultimately also found himself a lot of the time hanging out up on the right wing, allowing Cole Palmer to drift in, but making sure there was still a presence there when necessary. And that's basically how our first goal came. Sanchez pinged out a long ball over to the right. Gusto picked it up, took it up, ran in, initially looked for the pass, but it wasn't there. So he went for a shot. The shot ricocheted. He got it back. He put it over to Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer slotted it in beautifully, calmly, with poise, finesse. It was stunning, man. It was just such a good goal. It was like the 22nd minute. It was so good. And then 22 minutes in, we're up. We've been dominant for the majority of the game so far. We've got the first goal. We're feeling good. Everyone's looking good. And we just carried on that way. The second goal was also by Cole Palmer. God, mate, what a game this guy had today, man. He is back. He is so back. And the second goal was a little bit different because Cole Palmer was a bit more involved in the build-up for it, and he did that thing he does where he knows when to take an extra step or wait an extra second without feeling too pressured by the moment or the experience or whatever's going on around him. He held on to the ball for an extra second and slotted it home almost identically to the first one. But the build-up showed why Cole Palmer is so good in those moments, right? Because he just doesn't let it faze him. He doesn't let it affect him. He doesn't overthink. He just felt, what do I need to do right now? I need to wait an extra second to get that ball in, and he did it. And mate, it was stunning. And then the third goal, Cole Palmer was just involved in the third goal as well. He put a ball through to Joao Pedro, and it was the tastiest, cheekiest little chip over the keeper that you have ever seen. So Cole Palmer, man of the match, obviously was so good. 2 goals and an assist. Absolutely unbelievable. Dominated the ball. He was just always looking to make something happen, but he was also getting back and stuck in with the defensive stuff when he had to as well. And that typifies the whole performance today. What you saw today was a team, was a real team. And another thing I said in my preview that I think I really want to give credit to Enzo Maresca for today is it's not just the tactics. It's not just how do you line up? How do we nullify this? How do we nullify that? It is Enzo Maresca's ability to get a group of 23, between 20 to 24-year-old guys in a room and say, this is a final. This is the best team in the world, but we've got what it takes to win. And he inspired that team to this victory today. So for me, yes, the team was absolutely unbelievable. And obviously the likes of Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Marc Cucurella, even Robert Sanchez, we'll get onto him in a minute, but all of the players obviously deserve so many plaudits. But Enzo Maresca, man, Enzo Maresca, like, unbelievable managerial performance. It's easy to forget that Enzo Maresca is still quite early into his experience as a manager. Oh, mate, I'm so tired. I'm so knackered. I'm literally been screaming for like the last hour. My voice is starting to go, but it was worth it. Let's keep going. So the second half essentially was an exercise in not letting the moment get away with you, right? It was like, okay, we're 3-0 up. Don't get cocky. We've still got a lot of work to do. They're still the best team in the world. And if we let them, they will take advantage of us. So we saw a game of 2 halves. We saw unbelievable attacking passion and play and, front-footedness in the first half. And in the second half, we saw defensive doggedness, resilience, all of those things that title-winning teams have. Now, look, we're not going to talk about next year's Prem yet. That's for another few days, for another video, a few more transfers along. We'll get into that. But what we saw today is a team, if we can harness whatever happened today, that's how you win titles, man. You attack when you need to attack, and you dig in when you need to dig in, and you adapt to the moment. And you've got to think as well, right? At halftime, 3-0 down, Luis Enrique is in that changing room with those PSG players, giving them an royal rollicking and inspiring them to come out in the second half and saying, go, 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 go. We've got to win. We've scored 4 goals against Atletico Madrid, and we've just put 2 Madrid teams. We've put 8 goals against 2 Madrid teams, 17 goals in the last 6 games. We can still do this. And they came out like that, man. So we were quite dominant in the first half. They were really struggling to get the ball off us. But in the second half, things completely changed. They had a lot of the ball, and this is, okay, we're going to start getting into player performance. Ultimately, there were no goals in the second half. Things started to get a bit testy, I think it's fair to say. The emotion definitely started to build, and there was a lot of cards being thrown around, and people started getting a bit tasty with each other and stuff. But yeah, like I say, the second half was an unbelievable performance in terms of grit and determination and doggedness. But because there were no goals and assists and there were no game-changing moments other than, well, it wasn't really a game-changing moment, but PSG had a player sent off. But we'll start getting into player performances. And I'm going to start with Robert Sanchez. Robert Sanchez, take a bow today, mate. Take a bow today. Unbelievable performance. Some of those saves from Robert Sanchez today, I do not know where today's Robert Sanchez has been. And if he stays there, I mean, look, what I will say is, juxtaposed against all of how good Robert Sanchez was today, there was a few moments and one particularly big moment that nearly cost us from Robert Sanchez. So despite him being amazing for 95% of this game, 5% of this game was the Robert Sanchez that could cost us. So although, yes, Robert Sanchez, unbelievable. That Superman save where he just dived down, mate, there were so many clutch saves from Sanchez today. Any montage of Sanchez's performance today on YouTube, if in the next few days, go and check it out. But yeah, still a little bit of a worry there, right? But ultimately, he was a big part of why we didn't have to compete as much in that game as we might otherwise have had to. If Sanchez had turned up on a normal Sanchez day, they'd have put 3 or 4 past us. But he unlocked something extra today, and he did some stuff that we've never seen him do before, and fair play to him. So the back line was all pretty good, but in particular, I want to give props to Marc Cucurella and Trevor Chalobah. Gusto was good today. Gusto was good. He knew what he got himself into good attacking positions, and he did a good job, and he didn't go all over the place. He took his instruction well. Levi Colwill was good today as well, in that way where I didn't notice him a lot, right? And with a player like a central defensive midfielder or a centre back, if you're not noticing them a lot, that means they're either not being incredible or they're not being bad. So what that means today is Levi Colwill did his job. But Chalobah and Cucurella were both outstanding today. The amount of times Cucurella got back for a clutch block or a clearance or something, he was just back there all the time. And Chalobah as well, so assured. Honestly, both of them, they were the rocks of our defence today. Unbelievable performance from the back line in general, but particularly I would like to highlight Cucurella and Chalobah because they were great. It is such a good job that Caicedo was back today as well, because he was just brilliant. Classic Caicedo. He was all over the place, stealing balls off people, getting in people's way a bit. It was a bit scary because he got a yellow card reasonably early on into the game, but he managed to keep a lid on it and had an amazing game. Really, really, really good. Enzo Fernandez was good, but again, not, the thing is, no one was bad today, right? And no one was a passenger. Everyone had their part to play, and that was one of the reasons why it was such a good game. It's just difficult because we're looking at like 9s and 10s versus 7s, and it's really easy to overindulge in the 9s and how amazing the likes of Caicedo and Cole Palmer were, to put down what a 7 the likes of Enzo Fernandez put in today as well. Absolutely brilliant, really, really good. It was a shame, he looks like he might have picked up a bit of an injury. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, Enzo Fernandez, absolutely great. Reece James too, man. Reece James in midfield too. It can be a bit of a worry. Obviously, the first time we put Reece James and Malo Gusto out at the same time in this competition, we got battered 3-1 by Flamengo. When I saw the lineup today, I was like, oh no, I'm a bit worried about that, because Maresca had literally said in the aftermath of that Flamengo game, we were experimenting, and the experiment didn't go well. And we tried it again today, but fortunately it really, really paid off. Reece James, again, really assured in midfield, did a really good job. And that takes us to, I say the attacking 3. Technically, Enzo was number 10, right? But, left wing, Pedro Neto, great game. Really good defensive performance from Pedro Neto today. And then we get to Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro. Now, I've already talked about Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer was a 10 in this game. Absolutely unbelievable. Joao Pedro looks like an absolute beast. And at the moment, he's going to be our number 9, isn't he? We're looking at our new number 9 right now with Joao Pedro. So, and this is the thing, right, is I've done a comparison video recently and gone into Joao Pedro's stats, and he only scored 5 goals from open play in the entire last season for Brighton. He scored 3 goals in 2 games for Chelsea as of right now. So if that isn't an indication of how good he can be, I'm not going to say he's going to score 3 goals every 2 games, obviously. But do you know what? I'd be willing to put some money and pin my hat on the fact that he's going to score more than 5 goals in open play for Chelsea next season. So yeah, man, what a game. What a night to be a Chelsea fan, right? And do you know what? I'm going to temper all this a little bit. I am getting involved in the banter of we're the best club in the world, but I know it's not true. Do you know what I mean? I know that this is a representation of what we can do, not a continuation of what we have been doing, right? Even though we don't necessarily give this tournament the same plaudits as we give the Champions League or anything like that, to be able to get in a fierce game with the world's best team right now and go toe-to-toe with them, put 3 goals past them and keep a clean sheet is unbelievable. Now, what Bear's talking about is what started happening towards the end. It was getting testy, man. It was getting so testy. Cards were starting to fly out. In the last 10 minutes of the game, PSG players were screwing. They've obviously just come through one of the best seasons of their absolute lives, and you could see they were not happy about how this was going at all. So, there was a few rucks and rough and tumbles and a few moments where it was like, oh, what's going on? And that's the culmination of this feeling began, not ended, began with, I think it was Joao Neves, the Portuguese central midfielder for PSG, pulled Marc Cucurella's hair. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on? This is absolute madness. And he was obviously just fed up. He'd had enough. He pulled Marc Cucurella's hair and got sent off. Obviously, you're getting sent off. There were some questionable refereeing decisions throughout the game, like Joao Pedro was pulled down in the penalty box and the guy grabbed his shirt and was proper ripping it down. Wasn't even looked at, completely waved away. But you can't pull someone's hair and get away with it. You can't. You just absolutely can't do that. At the end of the day, PSG mostly are quite a young team as well. And I guess maybe that's what showed a little bit tonight. They've obviously built up this expectation because they've had such a good season. It looks like Ousmane Dembele's on for the Ballon d'Or, and they've got slapped up by Chelsea, and they weren't prepared to deal with it. So then the whistle goes, right? And initially it's like, oh yeah, celebration. And, Cole Palmer's like, yes, on the screen. And then all of a sudden it starts kicking off. Donnarumma was more screwing than anyone. And what I will say before I get into this is, any of those tentative links that have been happening over the last few days about Donnarumma coming to Chelsea, I don't think they're happening anymore. I think that's dead in the water, mate. I think that's dead in the water. He showed tonight he does not like us at all. So yeah, basically what I saw was, I think it was Joao Pedro, right? Like there was a big kind of huddle and there was a bit of a kerfuffle started to kick off, and I'd missed it initially, but then when I saw it in the replay, Luis Enrique kind of slapped Joao Pedro in the face. So not only are the team screwing, Luis Enrique thinks that they've been robbed somehow. And I don't really see how you get that, because we had loads of yellow cards. They didn't start getting them until the end of the game. I don't think there was loads of unfair calls or any missed penalty calls or anything like that. We were just the better team today, as far as I can see. If you disagree with me, tell me in the comments. If I watched a completely different game to you and you think PSG deserved that win and they were robbed, then let's have a conversation about it. But as far as I could see, we went out deserved winners. We scored 3 goals in the first half and we were dogged and rugged in the second half and didn't let them through. And for some reason, Donnarumma and Luis Enrique are starting to get into fights. It all started kicking off, man. Enzo Maresca runs on the pitch and he comes and he grabs Donnarumma. Obviously, they're both Italian, aren't they? So he was like, I assume, speaking Italian in his ear and had his arm around him and was, trying to chill him out and stuff. And then one of the stewards came and grabbed Donnarumma and walked him off the pitch or whatever. Oh, this fly is annoying me, man. He's flying around everywhere. But yeah, man, what a way to end that game as well. There was so much fire at the end of the game. But eventually it calmed down and we got to see a couple of minutes of the Chelsea boys enjoying their win. For instance, Malagusto did a shirt swap with Bradley Barcola. That was really nice. So yeah. Wow. Just wow. What a game, man. I can't believe it. That was so unbelievable. It was so good. And it really paints a picture of what we can achieve next season, doesn't it? I'm not saying we're going to win the league or be in the Champions League. I'm not making any bold claims like that right now. We'll give that a bit of time to settle and see what happens with signings and how preseason goes. And, the first 10 games of the season is obviously really important, isn't it? But I had us losing this game and that would have been respectable. I don't think there'd have been a Chelsea fan out there anywhere that would have been surprised if PSG would have put 4 goals past us today, just based on how good their form has been, how incredible they've been for the last season. And they deserve so much props. What this shouldn't be, which is what I think the players were maybe struggling to deal with, this doesn't devalue everything else that's just happened in their season. They won the Champions League for the first time in their history. Luis Enrique has created one of the best teams in the world at the moment right now. They're young, they're robust, they play modern football. They're interchangeable. They've got good depth as well as a good starting 11. PSG are incredible. And them losing this game tonight does not take away anything from that at all. But it just does say that Chelsea have got a lot more to offer than I think most people, including myself, were giving them credit for. Honestly, in my head, I was like, if we win this game, I think it'll be like a scrappy 1-0 and it'll be like a goal from Cucurella or something. But no, it wasn't that. It was classic top prime Cole Palmer, a stunning moment from Joao Pedro, and a half of dogged, defensive, rigid and professional football. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, or subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day, because I'm pretty sure nothing anyone can say can bring me down right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the match if you watched it. If you didn't watch it, go and watch the highlights and just see what an absolute madness the entire thing was. It was so good. I hope you guys have a wicked day. I will catch up with you really, really soon, because you know what's going to happen now, right? Is the transfer window is really going to kick in right now. Now we're going to start to see outgoings, incomings, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. So I will catch up with all of you very soon. Take it easy. Peace.